Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 Manager, where we are just about to enter the Barcelona Grand Prix weekend. Fernando Alonso's home Grand Prix, and he has been scoring us plenty of points this season already. Last up was Miami, and yeah, he put in a good stint there. He put in a pretty good stint. I don't know, historic results. There we go. So Verstappen has won it twice. Previous race results, Fernando Alonso finished 8th in that one. Lovely stuff. Yeah, I think there's not too much else to discuss at the moment because we're not bringing too many upgrades. We've got a lot of things happening in the background, but overall not too much to chat about. So let's get into Spain and see how we get on. So here we go then into qualifying. Very good sessions in practice. 98% confidence setup for Zhou, 97 for Alonso. If we actually quickly just go and look at the results of practice 3, you'll see Fernando Alonso topping the timing charts, only having to put in 15 laps. Guanyu Zhou as well, only putting in 15 laps. And then we got the perfect setup, or the old optimal setup, not quite 100%, but optimal. And the car part was up to like 96% as well, because we've got a new chassis in this Grand Prix. But yeah, like both of them in the top, so very nice indeed. So we are heading into qualifying. Yeah, let's go and see how the boys get on. We need them both really into Q2. That would be lovely. Here we are then in qualifying. I'm just thinking, do we send Zhou out straight away? Yeah, let's send Zhou out straight away, see what he can do. And we'll send Alonso out not too far behind him, to be honest. There's no rain, there's nothing like that planned, so Zhou looks like he's going to get in a wonderfully quick time, and then we're going to send out Alonso straight after him. So Zhou is going to go top of the leaderboard with a 1:18, which is going to be interesting to see if that gets beaten. So there goes Alonso, he goes quicker, Perez goes quicker, Ocon goes quicker. So most people are now going quicker than Zhou, which I don't necessarily mind. We'll put a fresh set of softs on for him. Alonso setting a very good time there. Do we want to give him a... I just feel like Alonso should get through on the used softs anyway, so we'll keep those on, and then we'll just go out with, like usual. I mean, people are setting times, and Alonso's still in 3rd and Zhou's in 6th, so we're setting some good times at the moment, which is no mean feat in an Aston Martin. 7 minutes ago. This is sometimes, I think, a track where people stay out a bit longer. So Alonso just dropping down the orders now. Zhou's still in 9th, so that's not a bad position to be in. And I've got a feeling we're going to be getting to the point now where these guys will all come in, and then we'll be very close to releasing our drivers for their final lap. So 250 something, let's go there. So Schumacher goes out early. Bottas goes, Ricciardo goes, Hamilton goes, Albon, Russell, Leclerc, Verstappen. We're going to try and get behind Verstappen. Okay, we're going to be probably towards the back here. Alonso and Zhou both out then. So let's get them doing their out laps, and we'll drive on board with Fernando Alonso for his fast lap. So there we go. Sitting on board with Fernando Alonso. We're looking for green sectors all across the board, basically. Alonso currently in 8th, Zhou in 13th. Both pretty safe away from the drop zone. But we know that can all change in a matter of moments, especially if there's a yellow flag or an incident or something like that. Those AlphaTauris aren't as slow as Albon's making out there. The bottom 5 do look like they could all be the bottom 5 at the end of this qualifying session, though. So Alonso coming into the right-hander. Going to get down to the end of this bit, and then it's a left turn. Green first sector for Alonso, yellow for Zhou, which isn't brilliant. Zhou really needs to be upping his game a little bit. Although Alonso, as the experienced driver, is our number 1 and is in a position to get the most out of this car, I feel like. Zhou, he's got a lot of learning to do, a lot of potential. Schumacher is really bad in Barcelona, doesn't improve. Bottas is up to 6th. Gasly goes up to 9th. Ricciardo doesn't go ahead of Zhou. Albon doesn't go ahead of Zhou. So Zhou looks like he might be safe. It's a green-yellow sector 2 and a yellow sector 2 for Alonso. Green for Zhou, yellow for Alonso. There's already 4 drivers confirmed to be below Zhou, so all he's got to do is beat Vettel, Hülkenberg or Magnussen, which he should do, to be honest. As Fernando Alonso is going to come across the line. What's he going to get? He needs to refuel. Yep, you don't, because it's qualifying, so don't worry about that. As he comes across the line, Fernando Alonso doesn't improve, but does get through, and Zhou doesn't improve. Well, he does, ever so slightly. It's all about the Hasses now of Hülkenberg, and Hülkenberg crosses the line, doesn't improve enough, so Zhou and Alonso both through. Alonso 8th fastest in Q1. Get in there, son. So yes, both drivers through to Q2, which is very, very good indeed. We're actually going to do their first lap on that same set of tyres, because Zhou obviously used fresh ones, and then we'll do a flying lap on fresh softs, because we're in a good position here. Can Alonso get into Q1? That would be incredible. In the top 10 shootout, that would be absolutely incredible. 15 minutes to go in this session then. Again, I feel like let's send Zhou out and see if he gets... Okay, so he's not going to get a completely free run this time, although that is a huge gap. So we're going to send Alonso out there as well. So Zhou starting his fast lap. What can he do on this one? Alonso starts his fast lap and avoids all sorts of traffic. So Zhou is across the line. Alonso is across the line again. Second at the moment, but we do know there is a long time to go. So Zhou gets a fresh set of softs. We're also going to put Alonso onto a fresh set of softs as well, as Stroll has locked up. And you can see people going ahead of Alonso, Sainz, Russell, Leclerc, Verstappen, all the usual gangs you would expect to be above them. It's going to take a monumental effort from Guanyu Zhou to get out of Q2. But he's done his target. He's got through into the top 15, which is generally his target most weekends to get that done. So Alonso, I think he'll improve that time and get above Stroll and maybe Gasly on fresh soft. So he could well be in with a shout of staying in Q, or getting through to Q1. Hamilton, we'll imagine, will go above Alonso, and then he's going to be around 9th or 10th, it seems. So Hamilton sets his time. Yeah, he's up in 4th. So at the moment, Alonso's in 10th. But I think it's going to be a close battle with Gasly and Stroll. I'm very tempted to try and get Alonso out as one of the first drivers, just to give him completely clean air, so there's no dirty air, as Bottas is in. So I'm wondering, do we send out... No, I'm not going to send him out now, because that would be foolish, because then we're going to catch up. Verstappen goes. Wow, I'm not expecting... Why is Verstappen going now? Really not expecting that from Max Verstappen. As Vettel, Perez are out. Stroll, Gasly, Norris. We're going to send Alonso out in that, and then we're going to try and get Zhou out behind. He's going to be behind the Ferrari, so it's not too bad. But everyone is now back on track, so Zhou is out of the pit lane now. Let's see how everyone gets on, as Alonso is just about to be starting his fast lap. Where is Guanyu Zhou? Just want to make sure. Yeah, he's going to have plenty of time to get through on that one. And here goes Fernando Alonso then on his fast lap. What can he do with this one? Fresh soft tyres. He got through to Q2 on used soft. So I'm hoping that these fresh softs increase his pace and give him a bit more grip. Zhou currently in 13th. He will be looking to improve on that as well. But Fernando Alonso is our main driver, as Guanyu Zhou has started his fast lap now. It's a green sector 1 for Alonso, which is exactly what we want to see. But if we go into this view here, so Stroll has gone slower in sector 1. Gasly set his PB. Bottas has set his personal best. Stroll, green sector 2. So if Alonso sets a green sector 2, it could be a good sign. But in Q1, he set a yellow sector 2 and didn't improve on his time. But he's in the DRS zone here in Barcelona. What can he do now? It's a yellow sector 1 for Zhou. It's green for Alonso, which is absolutely massive, because that means he could overtake Stroll. Stroll finishes, doesn't really improve and stays 9th. Alonso is going to cross the line, currently in risk of being dropped from this one. Alonso coming through the final chicane then. K-Mag improves ever so slightly, but doesn't get above Zhou. Norris improves. Alonso, he's going to, need to refuel. You don't actually need to refuel because it's the end of qualifying. Alonso is going to cross the line. A huge improvement up to 8th. Jumps Gasly, Norris and Stroll with that one. Let's have a look at Guanyu Zhou then, as he's coming up to the final chicane. He has set a yellow sector and a green sector. He does need to improve quite considerably to get through here. He's one of the last people to finish. Guanyu Zhou coming across the line. Can he improve? No. Guanyu Zhou's 13th. Sebastian Vettel is still out on track right at the back. I'm going to assume Vettel did have enough time to... Oh no, Vettel's there. So Vettel has finished because the checker flag's dropped. This isn't a quick lap for Seb, so it does look like it's going to be Zhou in 13th and Fernando Alonso up into 8th. Is incredible. He's in Q1 again. Fernando Alonso is pulling this Aston Martin into new realms of F1. So Guanyu Zhou eliminated in 13th, but I'm very happy with that. But we get to go into Q1 with Fernando Alonso yet again. And we're going to do the same thing. We'll put him on probably this set, maybe. This used set here. I sort of feel like I'll be happy starting in 10th, to be honest. Maybe we go to these ones and then these ones. Let's put them on. Do we keep both of these for the race? That one's sent back to Pirelli. That's sent back. I think we're going to have both of these mediums for the race. We're going to have these hards. Let's put them on. Because we're going to have a completely fresh set of softs for the race anyway. Yeah, I feel like we put these ones on just... Well, no. Let's go for... I'm going to stick with my original plan. Let's put those ones on and go into Q3 with Fernando Alonso. Oh, this is exciting, isn't it? We're going to go into the map. I feel like, again, we're going to send it... You only get... Yeah, a bit less time in this one. So we're going to send Alonso out knowing that he's got lots of free air in front of him. As he is now starting a fast lap. So Fernando Alonso just got out in front of all of that traffic as well, which is handy. Alonso crosses the line. It's not a very good time, so he'll get him in the garage. Get him onto that fresh set of softs, but it is a time that has been set, and he still goes quicker than Lando Norris. So we are going to set him on that fresh set of tyres. I'm just thinking... When do we send him out to try and get all that clean air? Just thinking about this. Verstappen, Russell, everyone's starting to leave the pit lane. Alonso has got a bit of free air there. Should easily get round in time to get his lap going. And there he goes. Fernando Alonso then. At the back, the last man on track in qualifying. He's going to have a lot of space and time in front of him to see how everyone else does. Currently sitting in 9th, but on fresh, soft tyres now. He was on very worn... Well, not very worn. He was on worn soft tyres for his first lap in Q1. Is Fernando Alonso the man to put Aston Martin back on the map in terms of racing? And you can see he's got lots of time in front of him. It's a green first sector, which is very, very good. He is ahead of Lando Norris, but I'm going to assume Norris... See, yeah, look. Used. We're the only people on fresh softs here. This could be huge. This could be very, very good for Fernando Alonso, the way we've done this tactically. Russell doesn't improve. Leclerc can't beat Verstappen. He stays in 2nd. As lots of people now coming across the line. Gasly 7th. Russell 6th. Hamilton 4th. Perez 3rd. It looks like it's going to be Max Verstappen on pole for this one. As Bottas crosses the line. Norris improves, but then he drops down into 9th. We've set 2 green sectors here, Fernando Alonso. What can he do? He is 3/10 he's got to find. And he doesn't need to refuel. 117.8. I think he's going to beat that. Is he? 117.7. He goes into 8th position, Fernando Alonso. A fantastic qualifying performance from the Spaniard in his home Grand Prix. The crowd will be absolutely loving that one. So it's Max Verstappen on pole. Leclerc in 2nd. Perez 3rd. Hamilton 4th. Sainz 5th. Russell 6th. Bottas 7th. Alonso 8th. Gasly 9th. And Norris in 10th. I'm going to assume Verstappen is on an in lap. I think he is. Yes, he is. So we can cancel that one. Lovely bit of qualifying here in Catalonia. Lovely stuff then. So we're going to be starting 8th and 13th on the grid. I couldn't really ask for much more than that. That is absolutely superb. And now it's just going to come down to the strategies that we pick for this race. And this is always the tough bit, isn't it? It's always the tough bit. It's a 2-stopper, whatever you do, apparently. So I think something like that. Softs, medium, soft may get us going a little bit here. Can we drag those mediums out? Yes, we can. Can we end a bit harder on the softs? Yes, we can. So pit a little bit earlier and then go on to the mediums and then push the softs ever so slightly at the end. That is what we're going to do for Alonso. And I think we're probably just going to match that with Guanyu Zhou, to be honest, because there's no... Yeah, the softs will... Unless we do a really early stop like that, or we could... really push Guanyu Zhou to try and get him up. Try and get him up the leaderboard a little bit. And then push those softs at the end. So that's pitting on lap 50. So that's 15 and 50 for Guanyu Zhou. And this is 19 and 49. Yeah, I think we do that. With same strategies, we'll just split them out a little bit. We are going to lower the fuel just a tad. Just because I think there is the chance of a safety car here. So if we go reports, circuit info... Pit lane time lost 24 seconds. Safety car chance 80%. So it's not nailed on, but that's what we're going to go with. Let's get into it. Here we are then in Spain, Catalonia, and it's going to be amazing. One of the oldest circuits on the calendar, and we are underway, and I've just realised I haven't set everything up. This is a rarity for me that I didn't do this. Deploy, push, and attack. There we go. And we'll know we'll have to lower those tyres just a little bit, but Alonso up into 8th as Perez swings out trying to get a bit of position there, as Leclerc has jumped in to first position. And Alonso, Zhou has overtaken Ocon. He's up to 12th. Lovely stuff. Alonso has got Bottas and is up into 7th. So a fantastic start for both Aston Martins at the moment. And yeah, very, very happy with that. What's it looking like strategy-wise? Medium runners, mediums and soft. Only Daniel Ricciardo on the hards. Is he going to try and pull those out? As Zhou has also got Stroll. So Zhou up to 11th now. And he's having a look here as well at Gasly. Can he make that one stick? I'm not sure he's going to. Or is it? Yes, he is. He's up into the points. So both drivers doing very, very well at the moment. And let's get these guys back onto their tyre strategies. We'll leave their battery on deploy just for a little bit here. As Zhou and Gasly having a hell of a battle. Alonso has overtaken Russell and finds himself in 5th. A very, very interesting first lap here in Catalonia. As Russell's trying to fight him back, but Alonso I think should make that one stick on the inside here of the chicane. Can he just get that nose in front? Go on, Fernando. Come on, Fernando, on those soft tyres. Make that one count. As he does just file in behind Lewis Hamilton. And I think George Russell is going to have to put up with him being there, as he's going for a move on Lewis Hamilton as well now in the Aston Martin. Come on, Fernando. What a start this is. Fernando Alonso sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And yeah, we can settle in here and be in a very good position. Let's save a bit of the ERS. So Zhou up to 10th. Alonso up into 4th, setting the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on the first lap. Absolutely superb. But there's a big crash. Alonso, I think he's locked up and hit Hamilton. He had the inside. Oh, Alonso. Just there, there's contact. I don't know whose fault it is. Oh, Fernando, you were doing so well. It's in sector 1. I think he's going to have damage. He's got front wing damage. Oh, no. Let's see where he's going to rejoin. It's a bit of a nightmare. He has got a penalty. Minor front wing. I think we can sort of keep him out. Alonso is just waiting for a gap to join. He's going to be right at the back. Oh, and he's got a time penalty. So I sort of feel like that is Fernando Alonso's strategy completely in the mud. Right, hard tyres. Now, go on to the hards now. Let's see if you can you drag those softs out to the end? You can. So you can end on a faster tyre. Or do we go mediums and push the mediums? I think softs is probably going to make sense, right? Stay on the faster tyre. That's going to be... So if we go to there to make sure they survive, 2 minutes quicker. If we go on to the mediums and push... Oh, it's softs and don't push, or mediums and push. I mean, yeah, you just cannot push those hards at all. But you can do something like that and go to the end of those mediums. I think that's what we're going to have to do. So we'll update that strategy. He's going to go on to a medium, hard medium strategy now, which was not in the plan. Yeah, that is a killer. That is a killer. Sector 2, I don't think it's going to be a safety car because he's back on. So pit options onto the hards. We might as well. He's got a 5-second time penalty. We might as well give him a new front wing. Oh, Fernando. That is not good at all. I mean, he's sitting behind Hamilton. Oh, no. So Zhou goes up to 8th. Obviously, he overtakes Alonso and Hamilton there. And, yeah, no safety car, nothing like that. But Alonso is going to be pitting in here, and it's just going to be a war of attrition for him to see how much he can do. Okay, so Hamilton and Alonso both into the pits then. As Hamilton is getting a tyre change, I'd imagine he's getting a front wing change as well. But, yeah, that is a disaster there. What is... Hamilton's coming out onto the hards. Could be doing a similar strategy. This is our 5-second penalty. So there go the tyre change. This is the front wing change. As Guanyu Zhou overtakes Lando Norris to go up to 7th, which is a great start from Guanyu Zhou. Right, Fernando Alonso coming out. He's just going to have to race his race at the back, and it's slightly push the hards, take it easy on the medium. So slightly push, all of that. I feel like, We're going to get you round, and then we're going to have to deploy to make sure that we try and catch up these Williams, which we should do, but then at least DRS can pull us around. So I think with Alonso, we just let him focus on his own race, and we're going to get Guanyu Zhou to deploy his battery and try and catch up to Bottas. So yeah, not the start we wanted after such a good qualifying campaign in Catalonia, but the race a little bit difficult as Guanyu Zhou, I don't think he's got an issue. I think that's just a graphical glitch to say that his DRS is open. So Guanyu Zhou has done a brilliant job of closing the gap to Bottas, and he's actually going to have DRS coming down as Guanyu Zhou sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, taking it off Fernando Alonso. But yeah, Norris hot on his tail, but if we can just get caught in a DRS train here and really catch up to Bottas, get that back on deploy, get right behind Valtteri Bottas if we can, and then make sure that we make that stick, because Bottas is coming around that corner. Yeah, we're in a decent position, just need to make sure that we close that gap before the DRS zone and make that work. So we should deploy out of here, get in that DRS train. That is the crucial thing. We need that green light to come on. I think we're going to do it quite easily. So let's drop that down to neutral now. Jump on board with Guanyu Zhou. And there he is. There's the DRS. Yeah, so we have caught DRS off Bottas. And look at that. We're absolutely reeling him in. Don't have to make the move. In fact, I'm happy for you to sit behind him in these sections and harvest. Don't need to deploy, because look how close we've just pulled into Bottas there. DRS absolutely massive for Guanyu Zhou. Where is Alonso in all of this? Right, Alonso, you're going to have to deploy to get something back into line with Hamilton and the Williams in front. So Guanyu Zhou keeping pace with Valtteri Bottas. We'll have DRS again coming down here, so that is more than acceptable. Where is... Okay, so Norris is, yeah, caught but in the DRS train, as well as Guanyu Zhou having a quick look at Valtteri Bottas. But he's going around the outside. He should be on the inside for the second corner, but Bottas will have the inside here. Bottas is a wily old driver. He'll know what he's doing. He is dropping off the pace from Sainz though, so we do need Bottas to sort of pull us along and keep this one going. Norris right on our tail as well. It's going to be an interesting race. Alonso really needs to make up some time onto Hamilton. Don't worry about your tyres overheating, mate. It's all part of the strategy. You'll make them work. Don't worry. So Guanyu Zhou has now got past Valtteri Bottas. It's a battle that's still happening. If Zhou can keep his nose in, he's going to be in a good position. He got it done at the end of the DRS straight. I feel like we could have a good moment here to deploy. Well, Guanyu Zhou definitely would have taken that huge cone out there. I'm just wondering if we deploy down this DRS straight on the start-finish line, really get past him if we can. Now make your move, Zhou. Now make your move. You've got to go for it. You've got to go for it. He's not going to go for it. He's not going to go for it. We'll sit in harvest for a bit longer then and maybe get him on the next lap. So Guanyu Zhou up into overtake on the next lap. Can he get it this time on Valtteri Bottas? He's much closer. He pulls out to the right-hand side with DRS, with the ERS in overtake, and he looks like he's going to get that one done. So we're going to keep it on deploy and try and absolutely blitz Valtteri Bottas away from us, as we just need to focus on catching up with Sainz if we can. It's going to be a tough ask, but Guanyu Zhou having a very good race so far. 0.5 seconds is the gap to Valtteri Bottas behind us, but we are going to keep on deploying as we come out of these corners and try and extend that gap if we can. I don't mind getting caught in a DRS race with Bottas and Norris, but if we can just keep pushing and break that 1 second, get into a little world of our own, we could be in a very good position. So you can see Alonso on the minimap still quite a way off Hamilton, although he is trying to close the gap. But yeah, it's a tough ask for them there. We need to catch everyone else while they're in the pits. So that's not going to be for a little while yet, because if you see in the tyre wear, everyone's managing it pretty well at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We've nearly broken a second to Valtteri Bottas. We need to get it done in and out of these chicanes, really. Otherwise, he's going to have DRS on the start-finish straight, and that isn't good for us. He will lose time battling with Norris, but if we can get that to over a second now, it needs to be up to over a second. Oh, I don't think it's quite going to happen. Oh, it's dead on a second. It's dead on a second. Did Bottas get it? Oh, he's got his rear wing open. So does Guanyu Zhou. It may be an error because Bottas isn't... Well, he has caught us up quite a lot there, actually. But at the moment, yeah, Guanyu Zhou's in a bit of battle with Bottas and Norris, it looks like. So Sainz run wide, and it's given Zhou a chance to now attack Carlos Sainz, which is absolutely epic, into fifth. There goes Valtteri Bottas out of absolutely nowhere. with the DRS. Valtteri Bottas absolutely steaming past Guanyu Zhou, who isn't too far. His tyres are doing really well, actually, Guanyu Zhou. Wow, his tyres are having absolutely minimal, really minimal wear there. So we can push the tyres a bit more to keep them in line. Or we can actually, in fact, if we keep that on aggressive, we're going to extend, because he's driving so well at the moment. I feel like we can extend these mediums out, and then can we? I don't think we're going to have enough to push on them. But yeah, I feel like we can extend that out. Let's extend it for now by 3 laps, just because his tyre wear is being so much better than what it should be. As we're having a go at the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Come on, Guanyu Zhou. Great driving here from the Chineseman. I said that a couple of episodes ago as well. Chinaman. There's Sainz trying to get past Bottas. Can't make it work. Bottas and Sainz really fighting each other. I have got a theory that we may be able to get into overtake down the start-finish straight and potentially get both of these drivers, which would be huge. Norris, I think, is hanging on as well to our coattail, so he's having an easy time of it. In fact, let's harvest up whilst let's harvest and save some tyres. While we're sitting behind them, we're going to get DRS, so there's absolutely no qualms there for Guanyu Zhou to just ease off, because we may get past Sainz anyway with just DRS. So, yeah, good stuff. Right, Alonso can have another lap of absolutely deploying hell for leather to try and catch up to everyone. I just think even if he pits, so yeah, I mean, look at that. We're like a minute behind the leader. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough even if we pit, because Hamilton isn't really making inroads into this DRS train that's happening with Danny Rick and the Williams. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. But we are harvesting and saving some more tyres with Guanyu Zhou as this battle for, what, 5th between Bottas and Sainz happens above us. So, all in all, pretty good at the moment. Guanyu Zhou still doing a fantastic job of hanging on to Bottas and Sainz. Well, Sainz has now just got through. So, I feel like we're going to go and potentially try and hang on the back of Sainz here. Although Bottas will get DRS as well. We are going to try and make an audacious move on both Ferrari-powered cars of Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo of Valtteri Bottas. And you can see as we come through there, we've deployed so much battery to try and make this work. We've got the pace, we've got the tyres, and Guanyu Zhou is flying past both cars here, up into 5th place for Guanyu Zhou. That is absolutely incredible from Guanyu Zhou. Unbelievable driving. Just very happy with that. They're going to battle behind us. They're probably both going to get us back in terms of the DRS when it opens. But that is fantastic driving from Guanyu Zhou. He's putting in such a shift now. He's doing absolutely brilliantly here, as Hamilton and us are still just getting left behind because of this DRS trying where they pull each other away. But I guess that's the danger of causing an accident, right? You get left behind, and hopefully we can pull them in at some point. But it's just a case of trying to manage Alonso's ERS. But Zhou doing unbelievably well. I'm sort of thinking, let's see how close they're going to get in this DRS zone. Sector 2, yellow flag. Not too sure what's happening there. Sainz is very easily catching us up under DRS. It was Lance Stroll runs wide. We'll have a quick look at it because it's Lance Stroll. As he comes, he just goes straight across and into a bit of the gravel. That's definitely going to affect his times and hopefully hold a few people up there to allow Hamilton and Alonso to catch up. But yeah, at the moment, Zhou doing a good job. I imagine we're going to lose this position right here. All 4 of them are going to have DRS on us, so it's going to be a tough ask. In fact, we're going to use it as, again, an opportunity to harvest up, because there is Carlos Sainz. He's going to get past. Can we jump into that gap between him and Bottas? I really don't mind that. Sector 3, yellow flag. Someone else has run wide in Sector 3. Who was that? We haven't been told who that was yet. Someone's locked up. Sonoda in front of us. Hopefully, that allows Hamilton to catch up. It doesn't look like it has really affected Sonoda that much, but he will drop off that DRS train now, which is good for Alonso and Hamilton. As we're harvesting up, so I don't mind Bottas getting past. That's totally fine. Pit window is coming up. So how is Zhou's tyre wear? Yeah, he's still well above his tyre wear. So I think we might be able to do something special here. If you look where that tyre wear's going, that's going to like here somewhere. Could we make this a one-stop? Or if we can drag those softs out, we're going to try that. We're going to try it and see how it goes. It's risky, but if you can do a one-stop, you're going to be in a very good position to gain positions here. So how is Norris doing behind us? So he's on our tails, but we do have DRS still on these lot. Bottas has to keep pace with Sainz for us to have any sort of chance. I am aware I've got to keep an eye on fuel as well. But at the moment, we're doing okay. Drivers locking up and going wide all over the place. So there may yet be a safety car in this Barcelona Grand Prix. So Bottas and Sainz have just pulled away, and Norris has now overtaken us as well. We have dropped the pace back a little bit, so I'm not too concerned because of how much better this tyre wear is going than expected. I do want to try and get to the one stop. I feel like a lot of other people may do that as well. It's going to be risky ending on the hards. We know it's not always favourable, but if no one else does a one stop, this could be pretty useful. Fernando Alonso is just getting completely left behind at the back. I don't know whether to retire the car and save the engine, to be honest, and just focus on Zhou. As you can see, DRS pulling us up into Lando Norris territory, and at the moment we don't really have to make too much of an effort here. We can just sit behind him. In fact, let's conserve everything coming into this final little bit here and see if we can get that fuel back in line. Yeah, Alonso's a long way off the pace. I know we've pitted and we're going to have to wait to see if everyone else pits as well. His tyre wear is also better than expected. So hopefully DRS pulls us back into Lando Norris here, as we're harvesting up and conserving fuel. So yeah, we're going to be pulled up to be right behind Lando Norris again. Don't need to make the move, Guanyu Zhou. Just sit behind him and get pulled along nicely. That would be good. Again, we can actually go into neutral for these bits just to make sure that we keep pace. I really don't mind managing ERS like this. It's all good. Okay, so Guanyu Zhou's done a fantastic job of getting fuel pretty much back in line. We can manage that a bit towards the end as well. And we've been sitting behind, as Sainz comes into pit, we've been sitting behind Lando Norris, just completely charging up our battery. So we should be able to keep pace with him relatively easy now, because we're going to get DRS along here. So Sainz is in the pits. Sainz pits, and there's a lot of people in front of us that will probably be pitting soon. I'm still confident that with Zhou, we're going to get these tyres onto those hards and go from there. I mean, it could be a pit a little bit earlier than expected according to that graph, but we are in a decent position here, as Hamilton is 10 seconds off Hamilton. So yeah, Alonso's 10 seconds off Hamilton, sorry, could be pretty much out of this now. Norris has lost 6 seconds to Bottas, so that's how slow this McLaren is. But at the moment, it's pulling us around in 7th, and we're managing to save a bit of fuel and a bit of tyres. So I really don't mind how this is working out for Guanyu Zhou. It's proven to be pretty good, and we're going to be in a good position if there's a safety car late on in the race or late on in this stint as well for these softs. So Guanyu Zhou, as long as he keeps it on the track and doesn't do anything stupid, he's going to be in a very, very good position here. Because look, the DRS just pulls us right onto the back of Lando Norris. We're charging up. We basically got a full battery to play with when we need to. So I think we're in a very, very good position. It's just managing this tyre wear. It may be one lap earlier. So let's just knock that forward. The hard tyres do drop off at the end, but they do see us through on a one stop. So his pit window is coming up. It'd be very interesting to see if any of the AI do this. As Lando Norris now pits. Right, so now we need to make this work a little bit, and because Lando Norris is the guy that we're going to be basically racing now in this race. So we're going to push the tyres a little bit more, we're going to push the fuel, we're going to deploy the battery, and hope that Guanyu Zhou puts in some pretty fast laps right now. As Fernando Alonso, it's this pit window. Fernando Alonso needs to make up some time. My worry is that he is also going to pit. He's got to pit again. Can we? Is there any way Fernando Alonso can? Has he got another set of hards? No, he doesn't. There's no way those mediums make it to the end. I sort of feel like we're going to change onto that for Fernando, and we're going to get him to just take those hard tyres a little bit further. Yeah, a little bit irritating. It's a little bit irritating for Fernando Alonso. I'm still tempted to retire the car, but we'll have to see how that goes. So Tsunoda pits, which means Alonso isn't last, but it all depends on what sort of strategy Tsunoda is doing. So Tsunoda's come out on the mediums, which I think means he'll be pitting again, because he didn't start on the hards. So as Verstappen comes into pit, he's coming out on the mediums as well. So I think he's gone medium. So I think he'll be doing medium, soft. So Hulkenberg finds himself up into 7th at the moment. sitting behind Guanyu Zhou, who's putting in, hopefully, a pretty quick lap. I'm expecting this to be near the lap record. It's not the fastest lap, but Verstappen is apparently still in the pits, and we can still push with Guanyu Zhou for a little bit. He's got a couple more laps to do before he's in, but this could work out really well. Hulkenberg now pits, so Vettel up to 7th. So Guanyu Zhou will be hoping to come out in front of sort of Norris and Ricciardo, is basically what, well, Norris and I can't remember who actually pitted at the same time as Norris. I think it was Gasly, I think Norris and Gasly were the ones behind each other. So yeah, hopefully Guanyu Zhou can put this in. Not too many laps to go. He is getting to the danger zone of the tyres. I'm hoping he can make this one last. He's put in a good effort here, Guanyu Zhou, for the first stint of this race. And he's going to try and drag these hards out now to be a one-stop. And hopefully then he just manages that all the way around. That would be absolutely lovely. So we have got a pretty big gap forming to Vettel behind us, who also hasn't pit, as Leclerc and Perez come into pit. So Leclerc was mediums. He's going on to another set of mediums. Perez is going medium to medium. Russell is coming in on the mediums. Bottas is in as well. So Russell's going to come in. What's he going to go for? Russell's going to go medium to medium. I think everyone's doing a two-stop here. So if Guanyu Zhou can make this work, it could be absolutely massive. Right, ERS is gone. He's put in some very fast laps with that. We'll put these down to standard because he's got to do one more lap. So he should be all right, actually, pushing the tyres. But yeah, one more lap here, and then Guanyu Zhou comes into pit. So up into 4th. Norris is in 13th, so we're expecting to come out down there somewhere. Alonso, yeah, he's knackered his tyres compared to Hamilton, but that was always going to be part of the strategy. So Guanyu Zhou just got to navigate these laps, and then he'll be in for his, hopefully, only stop of the race onto the hard tyre. And here, oh no, so Guanyu Zhou now is on his in lap. So Guanyu Zhou pits from 4th place. Into the pits he comes. It's Lando Norris who we're keeping on, who is up in 8th. So it's going to be interesting here. The gap isn't huge. It all depends on our pit stop. It's going to be very interesting. Onto the hard tyre goes Guanyu Zhou. It's 2.6. It's not the best. Lando Norris. Where's Lando Norris? Yeah, he's going to be... I think Norris is going to come out just ahead of Guanyu Zhou. Yeah, but that's okay. It means we've pitted from a similar position to what we entered in. So Guanyu Zhou's going to come out. That's Lando Norris up there. Right, get these tyres conserving a little bit. And we can push deploy to try and catch up to Lando. 2 seconds is the gap we got to close. Gasly isn't far behind us. But I'm hoping that we can make these tyres last till the end. And a one-stopper here for Guanyu Zhou could be massive. He's done a great job of managing those soft tyres as far as he did. Really, really good job from Guanyu Zhou there. As Alonso's up into 18th, so it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, Hamilton has jumped to 13th. That's the difference between a 5-second penalty in the pits and not having a 5-second penalty. Alonso's 11 seconds off Lance Stroll, who I think has all pitted as well. So, yeah, I think Alonso could be out of this one. But everyone's going to pit again, so it all depends on how Alonso does in that pit. As Guanyu Zhou now has to manage these hards for as long as he possibly can whilst trying to gain on Lando Norris. It's going to be a tough strategy. It's going to be an interesting one. Lando Norris, we know, doesn't have that quick of a car. We have put a good time gap between us and Gasly, though, which is brilliant. As we're going to basically use up all of our battery. There we go. And we still haven't got within that second. So Guanyu Zhou's going to have to do this a little bit all by himself. Guanyu Zhou in a battle with Gasly. Gasly tried to go around the outside. He really pulled it back there, Gasly. As he's still going. So I am expecting us to lose a few positions to those people that have gotten onto mediums, because they are a quicker tyre. But our hards are going to see us through to the end. That's still what we're banking on here. We're still banking on that. All of these people in front of us are going to have to pit. So, yeah, as long as we get pulled around by somebody's DRS, I don't mind. That's all that matters at the moment. Because Zhou, coming down the inside of Gasly, this is where Alonso hit Hamilton. And there isn't such an incident on this one, as Gasly keeps his nose in front, which again, which isn't a problem. It's a good squabble for position at the moment, 8th and 9th. But again, everyone else is going to have to pit. So if we can get these tyres to the end of the race, and if Guanyu Zhou has the same sort of smoothness and control that he had with the soft tyres, then these hards will have some push and life in them and towards the end as well. So it's going to be a very interesting race, this one. So lap 37, Guanyu Zhou has overtaken Gasly. He ran wide and really cocked up his race. So Guanyu Zhou is now in a sort of world of his own out here. 2.2 seconds the gap to Gasly, 2.8 seconds the gap to Norris. Again, he's just got to manage the tyres. That's all he's got to do in this case. Alonso is rock bottom, but we've just brought him into pit onto the mediums, and he's now going to see these mediums through till the end of the race. I wanted to get him early onto the mediums. The hards were proving to be a bit of a slow tyre, so for Guanyu Zhou, ideally, safety car towards the end would be amazing to get him on a fresh pair of softs, but we're going to keep Alonso out. He's got to manage it all himself. We're just focusing on Guanyu Zhou right now, and getting him into the best position that he can possibly get in this race would be massive. So Guanyu Zhou is getting pulled along by Pierre Gasly very nicely. If Gasly can go quicker and catch up to Norris, great. If Gasly's going to pull us around and we manage to keep these tyres going and make sure they get to the end, really good as well. Occasionally there's going to be a couple of overtakes with the DRS, probably like now. But yeah, all in all, we're doing well. And if you look at the tyres, everyone else's tyres are considerably more worn than ours. So I think we're going to be in a decent spot with Zhou come the end of this race. It's all down to him managing it and making it work. And that's probably the biggest concern I've got. So here we go. More of the front runners coming into pit. Norris, Gasly, all pit. This is very interesting now. This is very, very interesting. So they are coming in to do their stops. Sainz pitted and has come out on the softs. Zhou has got to make these tyres last till the end, and they will be slower. They will be slower towards the end of the race, but I do think everyone else is coming into pit. There's no way those mediums can get to the end if they're doing medium. Well, if they're doing medium, they have to go onto a different compound. So it's going to be very, very interesting how this works. Alonso may gain a couple of places as other people in front of him come into the pits as well. Hamilton's come out on softs. He's pitted again and gone to softs. So I just feel like Alonso's just too far away after that incident early on. So he's going to jump Hülkenberg and Tsunoda here in the pits. Who else in front of him is going to have to pit? So Ricciardo, Magnussen, Albon, Ocon, Vettel, Stroll. I don't think Alonso's close enough to any of those guys to actually get to him. But look how much quicker he is than the cars in front. It's absolutely ridiculous from Fernando Alonso how fast he can be. Just that accident with Lewis Hamilton at the beginning of the race has really cost him, and he hasn't actually caught Hülkenberg, who's pitted and come out. So I'm still tempted to retire the car, but he does get experience and the team get experience for finishing races. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Right, back to Zhou then. 11 seconds off Sainz, who has pitted, and Stroll is 6 seconds behind him. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, Verstappen and Perez can all pit and come out ahead of Russell, I think. I think these front three, when they pit, are going to come back out and still be the 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be interesting. It's just how much can we catch in terms of the drivers in front. Sainz has pitted. Did Bottas pit? No, Bottas has still got to come in. So yeah, Zhou, again, he could be on for a good race. He is managing the tyre wear, again, slightly better than predicted, which is great. It's all going to be how these hard tyres perform at the end of the race when they start degrading and losing their pace. So honestly, I can't call this one. I have no idea. But if you look at, we were fighting with Norris before. He's now down in 13th. So the one-stop strategy does appear to be working at the moment. It's just all about how is it going to work, and is it going to be worth it at the end. Again, a late safety car puts us in a great position. Yeah, so Zhou's tyres are really starting to have an effect now. Norris is closing the gap. We're pushing quite hard on everything but tyre wear. And you can see that Norris is closing the gap, which means Gasly and Hamilton are going to be pulled along. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. We could really do with a safety car. We could really do with this game. If you like me, there's a crash. Someone's in the wall. Oh, why is that not a safety car? It's Magnussen. Magnussen on the soft tyres, coming down, just gets the braking all wrong. Oh, it's not that bad, to be honest. But yeah, come on. A safety car would be absolutely massive for us and Guanyu Zhou. Because if we pit, where's the pit? Where's the pit thing? Well, let's have a look. If we say we're going to pit onto a fresh... Oh, we don't have a fresh set of softs. This set of softs, we're going to come out in 14th. And then we could gain that up by pushing the tyres, I guess. Let's have a look. Because these hards are going much, much slower than everyone's fresh tyres. If we added a stint and said softs right now, I mean, you could really push them. you can really, really push the softs. Do we risk it for a biscuit? It said we're going to come out in, what, 13th or 14th, which would be around here. And where are these guys? 13th and 14th. So we may come out here. Stroll's got a 5-second gap to Hamilton. That's going to be a lot to make up. 9 seconds. How fast? How much quicker is Lando Norris going? Lap history. Guanyu Zhou. So we've set a 122.5, 122.4, 122.3. So that's 1/10 gained every lap. Norris is setting a 120. Oh my god. So he's like 1.6. No, he's 2.5 seconds quicker than us. And he's 9 seconds behind. So he's going to easily catch us within what's left of the race. Ah, this is so tough. The one stopper will work. But my concern is that once Norris catches us, that's Gasly and Hamilton all catching us. What have we got here? We've got 9 seconds to Norris. Call that 10. 17.2. If it's a good stop, we come out down here. DRS our way forward. It's just Stroll being out of nowhere from Hamilton. Is Stroll doing good laps? That's the question. Yeah, everyone's doing 120s on the softs. Everyone is doing lap times of 120. Where's last lap? Zhou 22, 21 for Gasly, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20. Yeah, everyone is setting 120s. I feel like, it's just, there's 8 laps to go. Is it worth it? Or do we just push these tyres? Let's push these tyres and see how they get on. We're pushing fuel, we're pushing tyres. It's gonna be slower. It's gonna be slower to pit and come back out, isn't it? It's going to be slower to pit and come back out. We just need to watch that time to Norris there, that 9 seconds. And it, as I said, a late safety car would be huge. Ideally, that's what we need. I mean, Hamilton and Norris are fighting, but now Hamilton is 7.9 seconds away with 6 laps to go. And he is lapping a 120.4. Our last lap was Zhou 122.0. It was our best sector 3 where we started pushing the tyres. 6 laps to go, and Hamilton's lapping 2.0, 0.4, 1.6 seconds a lap quicker than Zhou. 1.6 seconds a lap over 6 laps is what? An 8-second gap? It's going to be close, actually. It's going to be close. How's Alonso's tyre wear doing? Can we push him a little bit more? Yeah, why not? Let's get him pushing as well.
So we just need to push now.
See if he can catch up to Daniel Ricciardo. It's gonna. I'm not gonna pit Zhou. I'm not gonna pit him. We said before, the only reason he needs to pit is if there's a safety car, and he nurses these to the end. Okay, we're into the last lap with Guanyu Zhou, and Hamilton is right there. So
2 to go.
This is going to be really, really interesting. It is the last lap. We are still pushing the tyres. We've got the fuel in line. Oh my word! Hamilton is going to have DRS. It's just going to be so tough. Let's. I think we're going to have to harvest, and then we're going to have to go into defend. Oh, we're letting a leader go through. Okay, which could be very beneficial for us, to be honest, because that means. Has that helped us out? No, Hamilton's right there. Because it means we might get DRS off the back of the leader. I don't think we will, but it also means as soon as Verstappen crosses the... We do get DRS. Come on. We have got DRS. As soon as Verstappen crosses the line, the race is over, and our finish position will be as it is. So we've just got to get round these corners, Guanyu Zhou. You just got to get round these corners, because there is the leader in Max Verstappen, and Hamilton is still behind us, and that's what matters. As Guanyu Zhou comes up to the final chicane, just go round this right-hand bend. ERS is absolutely knackered. We've knackered it out. Please be Max Verstappen crossing the finish line. Max Verstappen wins. Guanyu Zhou gets 7th. Come on. What a race from Guanyu Zhou. Superb performance from him. We made the one-stopper work in Barcelona. His tyres will be absolutely shagged at the end of that. Lovely stuff from Guanyu Zhou. He gets his first points for Aston Martin. Let's continue the work from here. We're only going to get better. An excellent drive, says his race engineer. As Fernando Alonso is going to come home in a disappointing 17th. But that was wonderful by Guanyu Zhou. If Alonso hadn't have had that incident at the beginning, Then it was the 5-second time penalty that absolutely killed us. Hamilton did really well to finish up in 8th from that, doing medium then hards. But yeah, tough race. It's over for Alonso, and he doesn't finish bottom. So 17th is decent from Fernando Alonso there as well. But Guanyu Zhou up in 7th. A superb drive from the young Chinaman. I get it right this time. And yeah, lovely stuff. Yeah, very happy with that one. Guanyu Zhou finishing 6th, picking up 6 points for himself and the team, which is brilliant. Fernando Alonso, yeah, down in 17th, which is a bit of a disappointment for him. But he'll be back stronger, I'm sure, as Guanyu Zhou now just sits behind Fernando Alonso in the Drivers' Championship, which is good. 10-point difference between them. He overtakes Lando Norris, Ocon, Vettel, Stroll, Magnussen and Albon. So good to get his first points on the board. And we still sit in 6th. We gained quite a number on AlphaTauri, who only picked up 1 point, 11 points off them for 5th position now, which is all good. And after that very good performance, Guanyu Zhou has picked up a development point, so we're going to get him up to 80 in everything, which makes him 81 overall, and that is good. Well, next thing will be accuracy, and then we're going to get his defending up to 80 as well. So he is turning into what could be a very, very good driver for us at Aston Martin. Picks up his first points, which is good. Nothing for either of the other drivers just yet. But yeah, very happy with how this is performing. Our chassis is manufactured. It was on the car for the race day. It's just that it came through the same time over the race weekend. And we exceeded expectations with that win again. Lovely, lovely stuff. Absolutely awesome. Right, next up then is Monaco. Oh, good. Good old Monaco. We'll be back for that one. We'll see you then. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you in the next one. Cheers.